Open world games. It's a genre as old as the medium itself, but with time and the advent of the Ubisoft formula, these games have lost what makes them so special. Exploration became a checklist, discovery became a map marker, and the story became a spoon, being fed into our little baby mouths. I never played Dark Souls, I never played Bloodborne, and I never even tried Sekiro. You see, Elden Ring is my first From Software game ever, but it isn't my first open world game, not even by a long shot. So then why has it rejuvenated my love for the open world games I originally adored as a child? I think the perfect way to illustrate why Elden Ring's open world is so great is to show rather than tell. And so to do so, let's take a look at a single journey in the game and dissect it. At some point in the story, you stumble upon the Shifra Well. You arrive here either through the main quest or through your own volition and tenacity to explore. But either way, upon reaching the well, you descend into the depths of a new and mysterious world, one the likes of which you haven't yet seen. Giant structures litter the landscape, teeming with the undead. On the ceiling of this cave, you discover what looks like a night sky, filled to the brim with stars. And as you make your way through this magical place, you eventually arrive here. The first thing you notice is an altar standing in front of you. And so you approach, and you are given the cue to light its flame. But most interestingly, upon doing so, you notice something in the distance. One pillar's fire roars into existence at a grand structure, with 7 others remaining unlit. This is what makes Elden Ring's open world so remarkable. You see, in most other games, this sequence would have started with a questline. You would have talked to an NPC in a town full of quest givers. They would have told you of a secret underground cave full of mysterious power. And most importantly, they would have mentioned that lighting the flames will summon an elder god based on some local folklore. A new marker would be placed on your map, and so you would slowly make your way to this new location, ignoring the world around you, and instead opting to make sure you meticulously follow your minimap. When you arrive at the altar, your screen would point you directly to it. In order to light its flame, and when you did, a checklist would pop up as a quest tracker, saying 1 out of 8 flames ignited, with a new marker pointing to the remaining 7. The genius of Elden Ring is that it inspires an entirely better sort of exploration. When I found the Shifra Well, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And when I first discovered that altar was lighting flames, I began to investigate. I walked up to the top of the giant structure and found a dead deer corpse. Without needing to be told anything from my quest log, NPCs, and the UI, it became immediately intuitive. This deer was probably going to be summoned if I could activate the remaining altars. And lo and behold, I was right. This sort of exploration and discovery is so much more impactful than what we have been seeing in recent open worlds. It's the difference between the game guiding you on its journey and you making your own. And in the world of video games, agency is king. After all, agency is what separates games from movies, television, and books. The ability to craft your own story and discover the secrets of the world all through your own decisions. When you are the one that connects the dots, that figures out the puzzle, it becomes infinitely more rewarding than when you are fed an easy answer and simply have to follow your step-by-step checklist and guide until you reach the payoff. The secret to Elden Ring is the payoff is always happening. It's about the journey, not the destination. However, that's not to say Elden Ring doesn't also solve the open world rewards issue either. You see, another thing the game does so well is it properly rewards the players for their exploration. After you activate all the altars, you are able to head back to the deer corpse at the giant structure, and this time, it emits an ominous glow. Upon approaching, you are sent into a new realm and thrust into the belly of the beast. Simply by searching around the world and making discoveries for yourself, you are met with, in my opinion, one of the coolest bosses in this entire game. The music swells, a giant mist overcomes the battlefield, and you are trapped in a never-ending cave with a monster of demented size and presence. The fight itself is the reward. Feeling the beauty of the scene, the music, and the dance the combat plays stirs a sense of emotion that we all crave as players. And when you kill that boss, you receive a just reward, a new and powerful summon that can quite literally help you defeat what stopped you before, i.e. other bosses. This one journey, this one puzzle of unlocking the ancestral spirit of the Shifra Well perfectly shows why Elden Ring is what open world games should strive to be. Modern day games hold our hands too much. A fear has taken over the industry regarding players' capabilities, their ability to make a decision, learn, and discover what developers spent so long and so many grueling hours making for us. But Elden Ring teaches an important lesson. Even for all the things it does so wrong, the clunky UI, the at times very convoluted and contrived storytelling, the unacceptably bad performance issues. Don't get me wrong, I think there are many improvements that need to be made here. A small quest journal that slightly tracks your progress would make things manageable when you forget who a character was and have no idea where they could possibly be now because the game didn't even give you a hint. I don't want to have to do Google for that. For all those problems though, Elden Ring does the most important thing right. The thing that open world games going forward should use as their guiding light. It trusts its players. The map markers aren't predefined by the game designers. You place them. NPCs don't hand out quests like candy. You have to make the effort and solve their riddles on your own. No minimap guiding you the entire way. I, for one, would rather struggle at times, even on the simple tasks, than I would have no challenge or agency the entire way through. It's a risk that means many players will give up on Elden Ring quickly. They may be too used to having their hands held for so many years now. But trusting your player base and allowing them the freedom to have true agency is what results in a game that makes players fall in love, instead of just coming for a fun time, only to be forgotten with time. Requiring more from the player is what makes Elden Ring so great, and by proxy, its open world so memorable. In a world where every quest, every story beat, every boss, and every point of interest is tracked, in a world where games have essentially become playable movies, Elden Ring forgoes these things that define the last generation of open world games, and instead ushers in a new way to play, similar to that of games of old, but now with the technology and gameplay to boot. Where other open world games feel like a set of quests you're going on to complete a story, Elden Ring feels like a genuine journey, an odyssey. Open world games were the natural extension of the gaming medium, a way to allow players to chart their own path in new and mysterious worlds. But somewhere along the way, with all the graphical updates, the quality of life improvements, and the bigger and bigger worlds, we forgot what made the exploration so impactful in the first place. There was and will always be amazing stories told. We saw that from the Greeks, the Romans, common books, television, and modern Marvel movies. What the open world games allow us to do is capture a true sense of adventure, of forging your own journey, not tailor-made by a developer or a writer at a AAA studio, but your own. The reason an open world like Elden Rings is garnering so much praise and support is because it is finally one that mirrors our own. The journey to grow, discover, and conquer, all through our own instincts and determination of will. A journey we will not soon forget.